February 7th, 2026, the March for cyberstan update begins, and oh golly, it seems that their numbers have reached 170,000 on Steam alone. Yet somehow with all those things on their side, the game managed to alienate a bunch of players due to things like degrading performance that was already an issue before, a campaign that felt too forced especially due to the insane Vox engine numbers, and of course the overly curated feel of the whole campaign, where people have said it felt like they wanted us to lose. And of course we can't forget the whole doxing of the charity challenge guy, that either way you see this situation has just served to drive the community further apart from each other, and of course making most normal people leave before things got even worse. So with all that, we have to ask ourselves, has Helldivers 2 actually changed for the better since then? And if so, do they deserve another chance? To answer that, I am going to go through a few changes we have seen since the last time I played. Not only that, but I am going to play the game to get as much insight on if it's worth it for the average player to come back to the game. Now, before we begin, I have to make things clear. My return here to the game has nothing to do with the current quality of the game. It has to do with someone who asked what power does your opinion on the game hold if you don't even play the game. And contrary to common opinion, I am not an unreasonable person. So I sat down and I thought about the choices presented to me. I either keep the course I am going, and whenever I criticize Arrowhead my opinion won't hold as much strength, and due to that it won't be taken seriously, or I do play the game again at the cost of my promise that I won't play the game until someone gets accountability under the form of being fired. So with those choices in my hand, I chose to play again, because how can we keep Arrowhead accountable when people can just claim that we don't even play the game? So on my end, this wasn't a choice made because Arrowhead is such a good company, or that I agree with how their mods act and how they moderate, but it was a choice made under the guise of helping me open a lot more people's eyes about what's going on with the game. Now we have to begin with my experience with Helldivers 2. I haven't played since March 5th, so that makes roughly 5 months since I last played. Now if you look at my plan here, I am going to go through a few things. Play at least one match with each faction, see if the super credit farming is still boring, check how the balance is at this moment, check to see if the performance has improved at all, look at the patch notes to see if the devs have changed. So with my plan ready, it was time for the execution. I have given all three factions a chance, and what I found was something I totally didn't expect. First, I started with what used to be my favorite faction, the bots, and I have to say, they're not fun anymore for me. And yes, it's the gunship. I have encountered groups of 5 gunships on difficulties from 6 to 10, and I have to say that they are absolutely horrendous to fight against. Not only are they more accurate and have a lot more numbers, but they spawn while you are fighting multiple heavy enemies, and have me disliking the bots overall. And this would have been completely fine if the gunships only showed up on difficulty 10 in the numbers of 5, but their weird choice alone has made me dislike the bots overall. On the other hand, I have grown to appreciate the Illuminate more compared to what the bots have become. For me, I guess it's the fact that I don't have to worry about the 5 stingrays on my head while I got 3 flesh mobs to deal with as well, and the fact that I can use the maxi gun against most enemies makes it very fun to play against the Illuminate. Wait, honey, I know what you're thinking, but there's nothing between me and her, okay? You're the only support weapon for me. I guess I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. Continuing though, the new bugs look fun. The Redditor farts though, and the constant fog of course, kills my performance. I'm going to be real with you. I don't know who thought that there should be a fog faction. You are fighting your PC more than you are fighting them. If you don't have the latest and greatest, your PC is going to become the fog machine itself. Not only that, but if you are running full AMD like I am, it seems that most of the game devs just dislike you, something about an allergy to the poor or something, I don't know. So with the factions, my opinion is that some of them have changed for the better and are fun like the Illuminate, but on the other side the bots have just become a stagger and throw fest all over the place. And I want you guys to remember that I was on the Creek as a new player and I loved it. I was on cyberstan too, and the change they have made recently to the gunship is just utterly stupid. Next up, the super credit farming. It's as boring as ever. I guess no reward for killing Hive Lords. Watch out guys, somebody might make more super credits per hour than a McDonald's employee. Now to the most important part, and what I expect most of you were waiting for, was my take on the current balance on the guns and what I think the overall warband quality in terms of firepower is. So I am going to begin with the warband quality difference, because you can see in my little sketch over here that there seems to be little to no warband quality control in terms of weapon quality. For example, in my opinion, Siege Breakers is one of the greatest warbands we had in a while. Most likely you can complain about anything besides some weapons needing more ammo, and that's kind of it. But you can take a look at, let's say, Entrenched Division with its shovel and forced stroker attachment that you can't have with the Viro on the side that only does 105 damage with gyrojet bullets, and you are gonna realize quickly that most likely you only wanna get this warband for only one item, which is the cremator. And then we continue with the Exo Experts warband, and yes, most of those items are good items if we don't look at what the devs tried to pull for a moment and look at the guns. The pistol is good, the Gallant is good, the Bullet Storm is good, all those things are quite good. If we look at the quality of the guns, we can see that the warband quality seems to have improved a bit, but it's not a guarantee where the devs can assure you that this specific warband is not only gonna look good, but it's also gonna have good weapons in it too. So in my opinion, the warband quality is gonna stay somewhat inconsistent even if we take out the bad stuff like the paint schemes, which, let's be real, are just one random color. If we continue with the balance, overall the balance hasn't changed that much. The devs are gonna pretend that they make good changes and then hit us with the "oh, there's too many changes to list," while the data miners work hard to actually show us that they just monkey pod most of the stuff. All I'm saying is that we're still at square one with the balance, where the game is balanced in the weird way where people that want challenge don't have it, and the people that want a good time get high level changes on difficulties like 5 and 6. Moving on to another thing that I had to take a look at, and if you saw me streaming, you know that we are going to talk about the performance. And not only has the performance on D10 gotten worse, but in all fairness, we don't know what could be the cause of that. Some people might speculate that it's the fart bugs or the old engine that the devs keep forcing to produce smoke until your PC becomes the smoke machine itself, but I think people like you are so negative. Why are you guys so negative? Just buy a new PC! Okay, I'm not joking. It's really clear why the performance has gotten worse, and I get that we're Helldivers and we're supposed to go through all these different places that are hell, but how do you want me to fight low FPS as a Helldiver? Do I really have to remind you, Mr. Narrowhead, how much a new PC costs that can actually handle your game without going supernova? Not even bringing up how you guys seem to hate AMD GPUs. So with all that shown, is the game worth getting back into even with the prospect of the new warband and potential content coming in? Not really, because as I have said before, the devs have a lot to prove for people, and especially the average player, to come back to the game properly. And sure, they can brag all they want about how, oh, we got this amount of players for like 1 to 2 weeks because of our new big update. But my question to them is, how many of them are actually staying? How many of them are actually gonna stay, Mr. Arrowhead? Because we all know the more a player stays in the game, the bigger the chance is that they're gonna open their wallet and buy some super credits. Keeping a steady stream of players would make you a lot more money than, let's say, putting mechs in a war bond. Also, one thing we have to talk about is the doxing. Nobody, absolutely nobody, has had any repercussions at Arrowhead Studios for this. I am looking at you, Baskinator, or whoever is in charge, for making people moderators, because we all know that the other side of the community has always had a way of saying the most heinous crap to us, and the moment we fought back, they could just scream, "Mods! Mods! They're being so negative!" and they would get the help right away. This is a failure of the moderating system put in place by whoever is deciding things there, and I would like to see someone be replaced, and even if possible, most of the mods be gone, since it's clear, very clear, that they have chosen a side and they are biased. Now on my end, I will be sticking around the community not only because it pisses a certain group of people off, but because I got snakes to bonk on the head, and also I wanna see if we can get some justice for the man that lost everything, because he wanted to show the devs how bad their game was. Thanks for watching, please leave a like and a sub if this top tier slop was to your liking. And with that, I wanna thank the channel members: Jordan Ingram, Smacker's Temple, Cactus Man, 501st Admiral Fez, Major Glazer, Titan, Doomclash, Kronk, Hoodsnag, Mr. Based Wolf, Call of Mutts, Merc, Super Something, J Rash Out, Brinks, Vile, Kingdoms in Cobalts, Malorum.